June did a live recently. He talked about many things, especially about love, about marriage, about loving army, about feeling sad. I wanted to talk a little bit about that and also bring back a video that I've made on the philosophy of love between army and BTS. Today I am baking an apple pie. I'm reading one of Sarah Bangtan's translations. He said, "Honestly, I'm scared. I want to act strong. Like, I don't give a I don't care about anything. What can you even do to me, huh? 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 But I'm not like that. I'm still really weak, really anxious, and I get hurt a lot. Even now, when I see malicious comments, it's hard for me sometimes. I don't want to deny that part of myself. This is what I fight my way through. Because 10 years ago, the same things were there, the same things existed. But what is different now is that I know you actually exist. I've come to understand that a little better. That's the only thing that's really changed. Of course, we're doing better now and receiving a lot more love. But if there's one thing is that I believe in your existence, and yet sometimes it gets blurry. Are you really there? Have you all left? Well, left isn't quite the right word, but are there still people who genuinely love me? I want to be reassured of that too. You know, I want confirmation from this relationship. That is what this is, right? An unspecified mass. Should I call it an unspecified mass or a specific one? Anyway, when I want that confirmation, I turn this on too. Honestly, I've gone live because I felt like crying. It just happens sometimes when I'm alone, and it's been such a long time since we performed. You've seen in interviews how after receiving all the energy from countless people on stage, when we come down below the stage, the drop, the gap, it's huge. To narrow that gap, I read, I exercise, and I go live like this. Your love isn't lacking. From the very beginning, your love has always been more than I deserve. The one who's lacking is me. It's like this. I depend on how you are with me, and you depend on how I am with you, right? So it's up to both of us how we do this together. Let's keep trying our best together, even though I don't know exactly how. I just love Kim Namjoon and his beautiful, heartbreaking view on life. I want to stress how important this type of conversation is for an idol because it is very difficult for idols to speak openly about mental health and to have the leader from the biggest band in the world, not only Korea, not only the United States, but the world. And I would venture to say, like, of all time, is quite a refreshing experience. The algorithms keeps us apart and they are also showing us fake lifestyles. We are performing for the camera and the algorithm wants to see us happy because if it sees us happy, then then it can sell us more stuff. To feel lonely for an artist of the stature of BTS tells you a lot about the state of the world, but it also tells you a lot about his human nature. He is surrounded by people. If he liked, he could be distracted by many things. Yet, he is still very introspective. I feel like he's always fighting for us to see him like a human being, like Kim Namjoon, not a superstar. And I sometimes feel a little heartbreak when we categorize them as superstars because when we do that, I know their legacy is important, but when we do that, we take away a part of his humanness and their humanness, the seven members' humanness. This is not related to the topic, but I was very disappointed with the album from Taylor Swift, The Life of a Showgirl, because I was expecting exactly this exploration of how being a showman, being a showgirl, strips you from humanness in order for you to perform for others' happiness. And when we do that, we lose a lot of ourselves. I love that Namjoon is always fighting for that. I'm still scared. I'm scared. The comments do hurt. Many people like to flex. Like, oh yeah, the haters are gonna hate, and it's just part of the territory. And I guess it's a way of like internalizing that dissonant feeling. But to be honest and raw and say, yeah, these comments do hurt sometimes. And I do sometimes feel lonely. And to explore very vulnerable explanations or topics about getting married, living life in such a solitary world. What I want to stress is that Kim Namjoon is living in the culture, and all of us are feeling that way. We are all we are all affected by this hyper excluded society. We thought the internet was going to bring us together, and in a way it has, because, for example, we're able to connect with a band. Me, myself, from Mexico, I'm able to connect with a band from South Korea, regardless of language barriers, of geography, of time zones. That is, look at this. That is amazing. But at the same time, there's a paradoxical thing that's happening, that even in this hyper connection, we're getting separated. So I want to play a video that I had recorded a while ago, but I'm giving up on the algorithm. I'm accepting that I'm always gonna have like 3 views that are probably from my mom. But this video didn't have any attention to it, and it's about the philosophy of love. And I explored my favorite book of all time is All About Love by Bell Hooks. Bell Hooks is she passed away recently, was an African American philosopher, though she would categorize herself more like an essayist about feminist theory and Black feminist theory. And her main topic, All About Love, explores this feeling about wanting to find love, but it doesn't reduce itself to like trite feelings of wanting to find marriage. Rather, she starts exploring from the individual, from how to find self-love, how we're taught by our parents love, and the first thing that they teach us is about self-love, and then how we expand that to a partner, to the places that we live, and eventually to the community, and how she is very much pro linking us to a community. Like we're lacking a community. And that's what I think RM was talking about, how Army is his community. He even wondered, like, what is Army? It's not like they see a person. He said maybe a mass of people. That is the community we're building. And I think it's important to respect that community. For example, a community is not, and I'm sorry to say this, but it's not a cult, meaning you are able to have divergent views from people that you love and live in your community. But at the same time, a community does require respect. For example, I really despise AI. It is a thing that I don't like. I do feel resentment towards artists that use AI. Yet, RM recently had a meeting with OpenAI Korea, and he shared that he uses AI to have like a sort of, oh, look at that, sort of like a therapy session. In this community, what I choose to do in expressing my love is, first, I love myself enough to understand that my views will not be affected by divergent views of people I love. I can also respect Namjoon and his breaches with AI. I can disagree with him, and at the same time, I can empathize with him because he talked about using it as a therapy session. I can still love him with all my heart and love the 7 members of BTS with all my heart and not disrespect them. I feel like that is the community that Bell Hooks was trying to speak on. Love is a commitment to both the artist and the fan. Yoongi said, quote, "I believe they are the reason for my existence. That is how I feel. If I remove the fans from my life as an idol, I am a really pathetic person. I'm just nothing. I always feel so guilty towards the fans. I think I have to take responsibility. That is one of the driving forces that moves me. If it wasn't for that, I don't think I could have done this work. I need to take responsibility, perform, and satisfy those people." In one of my favorite books of all time, All About Love, Bell Hook argues that commitment is necessary in any relationship, but that commitment cannot be given to another human being if we do not possess self-love first. She says, quote, "Self-love is the foundation of our loving practice. Without it, our efforts to love fail. Whenever we interact with others, the love we give and receive is always necessarily conditional. Although it is not impossible, it is very difficult and rare for us to be able to extend unconditional love to others, largely because we cannot exercise control over the behavior of someone else, and we cannot protect or utterly control our responses to their actions. We can, however, exercise control over our own actions. We can give ourselves the unconditional love that is the grounding for sustained acceptance and affirmation. When we give this precious gift to ourselves, we are able to reach out to others from a place of fulfillment and not from a place of lack. I will continue to bake my apple tart. If you've seen my last video, that I don't think you see because I think it has like 10 views, I talk about RM's exhibit with SFMOMA. And at the end of the video, I talk about life updates. My mom had been recently diagnosed with, I thought it was like a cancer thing, but it's not. It's called amyloidosis. It's really grim. And I had recently had surgery. So I'm feeling idle, I'm feeling depressed, I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling lonely. I don't understand the state of the world. So what I'm gonna do is just do things that make me a little bit happy, and that is baking and cooking. And for example, RM said, no, it's not in this one, but he talked about how he bridges the gap between coming down the stage and feeling that adrenaline high through exercising, through doing lives, through making music. That's what I'm going to do. I hopefully will be able to continue my academic journey. I was very excited because I had finally went back to school for philosophy. I was going to do a thesis precisely on AI and criticizing what AI is. And I thought it was going really well. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. Hopefully I will continue and I will push through these sad times in order to just get better. Sometimes you have to force yourself. Like sometimes I feel it's really dumb that in order for you to not feel depressed, you have to do stuff. But when you're depressed, you feel like not wanting to do anything. So it's it's like very unfair. And anyways, I'll leave you with a video. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, please subscribe. It means the world to me. And don't forget to send love to all of the BTS members. Bye.